What's up, Lakers Nation? My name is Trevor Lane, senior writer for LakersNation.com, and this is the Lakers Nation news feed, your home for the latest breaking Lakers news in 15 minutes or less. Now today we got to talk about a guy named DeMarcus Cousins and some juicy rumors that just popped up regarding him and his summer free agency and how it could connect to Lakers player Julius Randle. So we're going to get to that in just a moment. But first, make sure you guys download the SeatGeek app. This is a wonderful app for buying tickets. They have tickets to concerts, games, whatever you can imagine. I used it well before they became a sponsor of our show. Really cool app because they rate all of the tickets. They show you whether or not you are getting a good deal. And because they've partnered with us, if you use the promo code NATION, you get $20 off your first order of tickets. So make sure you go check it out. Download that SeatGeek app and then go head to a Lakers game and enjoy the show. So as I said, some DeMarcus Cousins news that we need to get to for today. Now, Mark Stein, who's one of my very favorite basketball writers out there, was on the Dunked On podcast with Nate Duncan and Danny LaRue, and Mark Stein said that DeMarcus Cousins is going to be pursued this summer by the Dallas Mavericks and your Los Angeles Lakers. Now, that in and of itself is not all that big of a news story. It was kind of expected that he would be pursued by them, right? Because we know that the Lakers are going to have probably enough cap space for 2 max players, depending on some of the moves that they make here this summer. But still, this is noteworthy. Now, Stein did say that Cousins is probably not the #1 target on their list. They'll probably have hit Cousins down below Paul George and LeBron James, which, I mean, makes sense, right? Because those guys are arguably better than Cousins. Certainly LeBron. Paul George is arguably better than DeMarcus Cousins. But still, the fact that Cousins is on this list is noteworthy because it shows us that the Lakers are not putting all of their eggs in the LeBron basket. We've heard all the rumors lately about Rich Paul, and he's been sitting at Lakers games with Jeannie Buss, and maybe he's the reason why KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, has been getting all these extra shots and everything in games because the Lakers are trying to kind of butter up LeBron James's agent, who again is Rich Paul. But you know what? If the Lakers decide not to pursue this LeBron angle, or if LeBron doesn't play out, if that doesn't work, it could actually benefit them. And here's how. Okay, LeBron James, his max salary is just over $35 million. Paul George is just over $30 million, and DeMarcus Cousins is also over $30 million. So if you're going to combine LeBron James and Paul George, or LeBron James and DeMarcus Cousins, well, that could get tricky in terms of cap space. You almost certainly are going to have to lose Jordan Clarkson. You're going to have to waive and stretch Luol Deng, and you're probably going to have to let Julius Randle go. But, and this is why I said this is important for Julius Randle, if the Lakers are somehow able to get Paul George and DeMarcus Cousins, if that's the duo, and again, that's why it's noteworthy that Stein mentioned Cousins and the Lakers pursuing him, because it means that they've probably seen a future where maybe they don't get LeBron, and they're certainly going to go after Paul George. So having Cousins on that list too is important, because if you add those two up, those two at just over $30 million, well, now you are in a territory where you can probably hang on to Julius Randle, possibly Jordan Clarkson. It still wouldn't be super easy to do. You could pick one or two of Julius, or one of Julius Randle or Jordan Clarkson. It's still not super easy to do, but you could see a scenario where the Lakers could hang on to probably Julius Randle, because let's face it, he's having the better season, and it's easier to replace a scoring guard off the bench like Clarkson than it is to replace a big man who can rebound, run the fast break, attack the basket, defend, play center, do all these different things. He's so versatile that it's hard to replace a guy like Randle, a little bit easier to replace a guy like Clarkson. So you'd have to believe that if it came down to the two and the money was somewhat equal, the Lakers would probably end up hanging on to Randle. Now, speaking of Julius Randle, how would he fare in a front court with DeMarcus Cousins? Well, you know what? There's some red flags that go up there, right? First of all, a lot of people, when they hear DeMarcus Cousins, they think, oh, he's a head case. Julius Randle has been known to kind of pout at times and isn't happy when he's not playing well and all that. Those two might be kind of a weird mix. They're both Kentucky guys, though, and ultimately the talent is there, so you have to think that the Lakers would probably take a risk on it. Although I hear you guys, when you're on Twitter, you're commenting, people are saying, oh, no, we don't want DeMarcus Cousins. He's a head case. I get it. He's got that reputation out there, but you got to love the talent and you got to love the fit. He can shoot from outside. He can hit the three. Has that similar effect to what we've seen Brook Lopez do this season, which would be to open up space for Julius Randle to operate in the paint. And those are two monster rebounders on a team like the Lakers who need to get out and fast break in order to manufacture their points. I mean, they do have Lonzo Ball as their point guard. You want guys who can rebound and then kick the ball out and transition quickly. Having a duo of Julius Randle and DeMarcus Cousins would make the Los Angeles Lakers absolutely beastly on the glass. So for now, Lakers fans have to pretty much just hope that the New Orleans Pelicans just go down in flames, because otherwise it seems fairly likely that Cousins will actually stay with New Orleans. Mark Stein has them as the favorites for right now. But again, who knows? You get Cousins in a room with Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka, maybe they can change his mind on that one. Now, speaking of Julius Randle, some important news that came out the other day on that. Now, Bobby Marks of ESPN mentioned that the Lakers are having trouble, or will have trouble, finding a trade partner for Julius Randle if they do look to deal him, because a lot of teams think that they can just get him over the summer. They can just offer him an offer sheet because he is a restricted free agent. And the Lakers, knowing that they have to keep their cap space clean in order to pursue two max stars, probably won't match that offer. Well, there's a few things in play here. First of all, if the Lakers do decide that they are going to match on Randle, they've got a little bit of time to figure that out, right? Even if Randle gets offered on July 1st, an offer sheet that he signs, let's say some random team, let's say the Dallas Mavericks, offer Randle a offer sheet of, say, $14 million a year on his next contract, and he goes ahead and signs it. Well, the moratorium isn't lifted until July 6th, so he actually can't officially sign it until then. And that's when the Lakers clock starts, is July 6th. So then they'll have a couple of days to figure out whether or not they want to match. So we're looking a week, maybe even a little bit more into free agency before the Lakers have to make a decision on Randle. So hopefully by then, they know whether Paul George is coming. They know whether LeBron James is coming or DeMarcus Cousins. And that can help inform their decision on Randle and whether or not they have the room to keep him. So that's certainly a factor here when we're looking at this whole situation. He also said that, hey, if the Lakers do keep Randle past the trade deadline, then it's a sign that they're probably going to try to just keep him. And again, given the way Randle has played this season, that wouldn't be a huge surprise. He's been very good. Sure, he's had his rough moments and everything, but overall, this is a player that certainly has shown improvement over the years, and that's kind of what you want to see out of a young player, right? You want to see growth, and that is something that we have seen from Randle this season. So there's plenty of incentive there for them to actually hang on to him. And this is noteworthy again because this is really the first time that we've heard that the Lakers might consider keeping Julius Randle. We had that Adrian Wojnarowski report from, it was about 6 weeks ago or so, where he said the Lakers are not likely to hang on to him, that he's going to be walking out the door. And you know what? It's a little bit frustrating when you look at that whole situation, because that kind of news really hurts the Lakers. And part of it is the Lakers have done it to themselves. They've made sure that everybody knows that they want to have two max slots available. So this is why it's bad to tell people, hey, that you want to have two max slots available, because then they know that makes it harder for you to keep Julius Randle. So if you want to try to trade Randle at the trade deadline, they think, well, hey, you're not going to hang on to him anyway, so why don't I just offer him something in restricted free agency, and you probably won't match it. And the Lakers can try to backpedal and say, oh, no, we'll match any offer and all that sort of stuff. But the die has kind of already been cast. The harm has already been done. This is why you don't want teams to know your free agent plans. You want teams to think that you're going to hang on to Randle. You want teams to think that you love Randle, even if you don't really. You want them to think that you love Jordan Clarkson, that he's wonderful. He is the guy that you want to keep as a long-term piece, because you don't want them thinking that they can get that guy for nothing. because that's going to impact your leverage in trade situations. So this is why it may have been a bit of a mistake for Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka to make these comments about having 2 max free agent slots when they don't really, and they're going to have to make some painful decisions to get to 2, because it makes teams think we can swoop in and grab some of these guys, especially Julius Randle, who's a restricted free agent, and put some pressure on the Lakers, and they're not going to match the offer. So we'll have to see what happens with that whole situation. The trade deadline is coming up. It is February 8th, so expect the rumors to only increase between now and then. But still, for right now, what we know is that the Lakers are indeed expected to go after DeMarcus Cousins, and just doing a little bit of math, if they are able to land DeMarcus Cousins and Paul George, there is the potential of still hanging on to Julius Randle, which would be a heck of a fun team. I mean, think about that. Put that together. You've got Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Paul George, Julius Randle, and DeMarcus Cousins all in the same lineup. That could be a very, very good team, and that's certainly something that Magic Johnson would be trying to sell DeMarcus Cousins on next summer when free agency begins on July 1st. That's going to be about it for today. Again, guys, don't forget, download that SeatGeek app and use the promo code NATION. You guys can find me on Twitter at Trevor_Lane, and of course, go to LakersNation.com for all the latest breaking Lakers news.